Ralph Bagnall here for Consulting Woodworker, and in this video I'm going to give you a first look at MicroJig's new Dado Stop, part of their MatchFit dovetail clamp system. Now the Dado Stop works with the MatchFit dovetail clamp to lock onto your rip fence so that you can use it as a cross-cut stop when cross-cutting with your miter gauge. But it does a lot more than just that. It allows you to cut cross dados with absolute precision for half laps, inlays, and other tricky joinery. And it does this with no measuring or marking. You use the actual stock that's going to go into your groove to set the jig. Let me show you how that works. Now, over the years, you've seen me using my crosscut stop many times on my videos. It allows for safely cutting multiple parts to the same dimension. But the wider the stock you're cutting, the less it has to twist in order to be able to catch the blade and kick back. The fixed center leg on the Dado Stop is exactly 3 inches long. So using it as your crosscut stop gives your off-cut piece more room to move without the risk of kickback. And because the Dado Stop is a known dimension, you can set your rip fence so that the fixed leg is just touching the teeth of the blade, then calibrate your rip fence scale to exactly 3 inches, making all of your cross-cutting with this setup more accurate. But the real advantage to the Dado Stop is the ability to cut half laps, inlays, and other joinery without measuring, marking, or test cuts. To begin with, clamp a piece of scrap to your miter gauge and cut off the end. With the saw unplugged, clamp the Dado Stop to your rip fence and set it so that the center leg is just touching the teeth of the blade. Then bring the miter gauge forward, then secure the number 2 leg so that it's just touching the face you cut on the piece of scrap. Legs 1 and 2 are now accurately set to the kerf of your blade. Move the rip fence back away from the blade so you have some room to work, and set a square to the side of the Dado Stop with the blade referenced off leg number 2. A piece of the stock that will actually be set into the dado you wish to cut is used for setting leg number 3. Resecure the Dado Stop to the fence well in front of the blade. Now set the rip fence to cut the near shoulder of your dado. In this case, 1/2 inch in from the end, plus the 3 inches for the Dado Stop. The first shoulder of your dado is referenced off of leg number 1. The second references off leg number 3. Then just nibble away the waste material in between. Because you set up the Dado Stop with the actual material that you're going to put into the groove or dado that you're cutting, you get a perfect fitting joint the first try. No measuring, no marking, and no test cutting. It works for all sorts of inlays and joinery that you may need to make. It does require the use of MicroJig's MatchFit dovetail clamps, but it will fit pretty much every rip fence out there and makes tight-fitting joinery a breeze.